Hi, this is Tenacious Earl with info session number 2 of our History Maker Golf how-to. Want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't seen video 1, we talk about some of the early basics of the game, some of the things that go on with the card. What we're going to do here in this one is we're going to go into a little bit more of how the different mechanisms work. If you find this video to be helpful, please like and share. You can subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this and get notified that they're up. So let's get right into this. So we've got control types. We've already kind of talked a little bit about this, but for this 7th hole at Kapalua, the way that you get golfer control is if you were to roll a 1, because if you look above the par 4 symbol there, you can see that 2, 3, 4, and 5 all bring course control. We'll talk about that in just a second. So what is golfer control? I'll show you here in a minute what the mechanism looks like. I would say this is best for shot makers. This is best if you have good wood, iron traits on your card, or experience traits, intangibles come into play, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Things like if you're hot at the moment, if you're an icon, if you are sunny, that particular having control of the hole can help you. And what we do with that is, so we have the white die that would be rolled for that, and you'd see the 1, and then the rest of the dice that are D6s, the black, the silver, and the green, you would take the numbers on those and place them in ascending order, and that's how you would read the book. That's how golfer control works. On a hole where only the 5 is showing, then 1, 2, 3, and 4 would give you golfer control. And the 5, so on this card here, the 2, 3, 4, and 5 give you course control. So course control, what's that? So that's basically where the traits of the hole that you're playing override the traits of the golfer in most cases in this kind of line of figuring things out. I would say this type of mechanism kind of neutralizes the long game traits that we talked about on the other cards, so it's rare you're ever going to hit something that involves the champion trait or the legend trait from the course control. What it is going to favor is guys that are good at clutch putting. So if they have a clutch putting that's like gold, semi-gold, that's going to come in handy. Or if they have good recovery traits, because as we will see it in the card over there on the left, those hazard symbols like the rough and the little diamond, which indicates sand, if you have a good recovery trait, then that will come in, likely help you come in handy in order to provide a better chance at a good score on those situations. So guys with those that lean in that direction are going to do a little better if the course controls their shots. Not universal, but it's kind of the way it is. And so when we have course control, so the white die, let's say that we roll a white 3. Then you would take the other 3 dice, you'd take the black and the silver and put those in ascending order to get the 2 numbers that would indicate which space on the whole card itself you would be following. So let's say it was a 2 and a 4. Then you would see the square, which is going to be golf cam course. So that's course control. And then you would take the green die, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. The white 6 is kind of a special thing. I usually go really quick through this when I'm playing a tournament. Let's just talk a little bit about what this is. I call it, this is like choices, okay? But there's really there's 2 choices, but the choices aren't that great. Or there's no real good choice other than the patient play, which is the first one. That's why I list it first. Patient play. So the white 6 is supposed to signify a kind of a mediocre tee shot. Maybe you put it on the wrong side of the fairway and you have to hit over a bunker or something. Or, you can't really access the pin. So you're going to, the number 1 is going to be, you take the patient play. It means you're going to, let's you play the fat part of the green. You're going to leave yourself 30 feet, but you're going to two putt. You're going to succeed at them both, and through that, you take a par. And so that's the first play. When you get the white 6, I call it a patient par a lot of times. What you do is you take the par. It's a quick play of the hole. You just take it. You get a blue chip, and we'll talk about chips in the next episode of this. But you will get a blue chip for a patient par. If the hole is double cordial, you actually get a birdie for that patient play. You get a patient birdie, but you don't get a blue chip in that case. That's the only time. And if it were semi-double cordial, you would roll the decider die to figure out which one it was. So, either if it was a no, you would get the par and the blue chip, and if it was a yes, you'd get the birdie. So, the second choice, which really I would say is only beneficial if you're late in the round and you need a birdie and you have blue chips already in hand. It's called attacking the pin or the green. The pin is on a par 3 and the green is on a par 4 or 5. It allows you to follow, there's a small chart in the bottom right of each hole, par 3, par 4, par 5 charts. I'll show you that one here in just a second. For the golfer control mechanism, down there's attack the green. And what you, in the case of the par 3, you would take the actual green die number that's on there and use that because you're hitting your tee shot on a par 3. For the 4 and the 5, you would have to re-roll the white die in order to get your whatever that is. And each one is a little different. I'm not going to go into great detail with that. Like I said, it's basically you have the same crappy shot off the tee, not crappy, just average, below average, but instead you're going to try and force that shot over a bunker, over water, and you have a chance to either leave yourself with a decent birdie chance or kind of like a pretty poor chance at par. So anyway, so that's what that is. Most times when you get a white 6, you're just thinking to yourself, we're either going to take the par and the blue chip or the birdie if it is like an easy par 5 that's like double cordial. So, okay. Golfer control procedures. So, here is, I'm showing you kind of a blurred out version of that par 5 chart. This is what the book looks like. And so you can see there's 3 columns. And to the left of each column, it's the 3 numbers that come from the dice. So, what you would do in this procedure, so you rolled that 1 on that, and let's just call it a par 5. First, you would go to the wood check. So in this case, let's say we rolled a 1, 3, 6. That would check, is he duffer or scatter? If he is, then you see there's a little asterisk kind of thing there. That is what's called the gallery groans par 5 chart. And you would go there and follow through with the green die result to that. So if duffer or scatter are not the case, then you go to the next one, which is iron 1 on this par 5 chart, which is, it's going to check as a utility. Then you go to the gallery groans, the regular chart. If he's not utility, then you go to the iron 2 check, which then says, let's say he's a hero. Okay, we get an easy putt for birdie. And this isn't showing up here. I wanted to show you that I'll just use the mouse to point at it because this basically just says moderate birdie. Because we're in the upper part of this chart, when you end up there, if you fail all 3 checks, then you end up with a moderate birdie chance right down here at the bottom. It says it. All these other pages, when it's not in this green section, you go to the very far right and it tells you which one you need to do. So that's how that kind of works. That is how that works. Not kind of. That is how it works. Okay, let me make sure I got the right one. Gallery cheers. So this is one of the things. We didn't see that. So you see the star that is over here next to the gallery cheers. Sometimes that will show up in the column next to a trait check. That means that he hit a really good drive. It's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a birdie out of this. In this case, let's say that he had a green 1. You'd use that green die result. You go to the 1 and it says, is he a champion? And if he is a champion, it's a precise swing, sends the ball rolling toward the pin. He gets a gimme putt for birdie. So that's the best chance you can have for birdie on the course. And then there is, if not, then you go to the next side. And I'm not going to show that, but you get. Okay, so here we are with the gallery groans. Now this is kind of like the opposite of gallery cheers. You can see it's got the star that's like 8 points or whatever. I don't know, maybe it's not 8 points. It might be 10 points. Anyway. So with the gallery cheers, the golfer earns a blue chip. For the gallery groans, a red chip is earned. And just the 3, 4, 5 roll is automatically going to be a gallery groans. Except for par 3, then it's, I think, a difficult par or something like that. But you get very small chances of birdie. In this case, look at gallery groans here. If he's a master, so this is a case where in the golfer controls where a good recovery does help you. So he's able to recover here if he's a master and have a chance at an easy birdie. Otherwise, it's going to be a par chance. So par is likely when you end up on the gallery groans, but you're also going to get this red chip that's going to hang around for a little while. Bogey is definitely possible if you miss your par putt there. And again, the green die tells you where to go from there. Now, make sure here, short game check. There's 2 types of short game checks here. The normal short game is shown here is basically missing the green in regulation. It's a par 4. You hit your second shot, misses the green, you're in the rough, and you're going to have to make a chip, or on the fringe, and you have to do a chip shot and get up and down for par. Again, use the green die result. A lower roll, like in this case, the 1, would be a chance if you're soft to chip in. Otherwise, it will become a check for the pin, which I'll show you here in just a second. I don't want to go into too many charts and show you too much stuff, because I want you to go, if you want to play this game and you like this game, I want you to go purchase it, because it is a great game. It's really a great opportunity to be able to do tournament play. Higher rolls, you have to think of it as kind of like it's lies. A low roll is a good lie, good chance at getting up and down, maybe making a birdie. Higher rolls, you're going to have a tougher time saving your par. The special short game is if it's basically a drivable par 4, a par 5 that you can reach in 2, an eagle opportunity potentially, or there is also, I think, maybe a result on the par 3 that if it's a short par 3, if it's direct. So the special short game check, again, use the green die result. In this case, if he is stone, he gets just a moderate birdie putt right there, right? If he's otherwise, he's going to get a chance to knock this in for an eagle. Actually, that would be his. If it's a par 4, he reached it just to the edge of the green in 1. He's going to have a chance to roll that in for a 2, which is an eagle. On a par 5, same kind of thing. If you hit your second shot up there. So the chip in procedure, you're going to roll a white die and a decider die. And if it's the 1 and the dot, it's in. Otherwise, you just use the D6 result, and there's a chart involved with that. So now we're going to go to the intangibles golf cams. This is another one that comes from the golfer procedure most of the time. You'll get golf cam now. We'll say now there. And what that is it's going to be how the golfer is faring at the moment based on the last 2 holes results. So if in the last 2 holes he's had 2 birdies, he's hot or better. So a birdie and an eagle, hot. 2 birdies, hot. 2 bogeys, cold. 1 bogey, 1 par, that's semi-cold. 1 birdie, 1 par, semi-hot. Neutral would be no birdies or bogeys on either hole, so basically pars. So that's what I should have said there. 2 pars or a birdie and a bogey, or something that basically it equals out. Let's go to Golf Cam Experience. I'm going to show you that chart there. So these charts, they're the intangible charts. They're kind of similar in format. I'm just showing you this one. So Experience goes off a prospect, which would be the odd checks. Icon, which is the even checks. In this case, let's say we got the green 1 in that golfer control procedure, and it tells us to go to Golf Cam EXP. We get the green 1 and it says, is he prospect? And let's say the guy is an icon. Well, he's not prospect, so instead of having a difficult putt for par, otherwise we go, what a shot, give me putt for birdie. So he would have a really good chance at making a birdie there. So that's how the experience goes. Now let's do mood. I usually play mood that if you do it in the perks and issues that I say here at the end, so that's kind of like the pregame stuff for a tournament, that doesn't change throughout the tournament as far as I'm concerned. Especially, well, no, if it's TFN, it doesn't change. If it's not TFN, it can change, but this is how it works. You develop a mood from previous rolls on that chart. So if you start out without a game day roll and the golfer is on the second hole and he gets golf cam mood, he is neutral. So neutral, it'll check either if he's stormy or if he's sunny, and whichever one gives it up there has a chance at a putt. Let's say it's an easy putt for birdie. If he makes that birdie putt, he is sunny. If he misses that putt, he's stormy. Okay, so from neutral you go either sunny or stormy. If you're at sunny already and you miss a putt, you go back to neutral. You stay sunny if you make it, and then from stormy, same thing. Missed it, stay stormy. If you make it, you go neutral. So it's a sliding scale. It doesn't come up a ton, but it does come up enough that everyone, it seems like maybe once or twice you'll have somebody move in a tournament like this. So now the one thing to keep in mind, I say at the bottom here, if you decide to lag, let's say you get a double difficult putt for birdie, and it's tied to mood, and you don't want to use it for that player because you know it's going to make him moody one way or the other. Probably he's going to miss it. If you think he's probably going to miss it, you can lag, which we will talk about when we talk about putting just a little later in this episode. You can lag it, and when you lag, that removes the mood consequences. Okay, so now let's go to the course procedure. So on that 2, 3, 4, or 5 on this hole 7 at Kapalua. Golf Cam Green, that goes on the traits that are on the hole cards that are either challenging or friendly. If neither of those words, or challenging dot, friendly dot, if neither of those show up on the card, then it's a neutral green for your hole. So, and then the Golf Cam course, it's either daunting or up to, in the case of the Golf Cam course chart, daunting or cordial are the checks. Double cordial is still cordial. So if there's no daunting, no cordial, no double cordial, anything like that, then it's a neutral hole. You're going to use the green die result. I don't believe I didn't put this chart in here. Some of them check for one trait. So sometimes they will just check for daunting. Is this a daunting hole? And if not, then you'll have a chance at a birdie. So it might check, is this a friendly hole? If it's not, then you might have a clutch putt for par. Okay. Some will check for both. Some will say, is this daunting? No. Is this cordial? Yes. Okay, well, you get a birdie putt then. And if it's neither, then you get a par putt. So that's kind of the way that works. Some produce clutch putts, which goes off the clutch putting trait of the golfer, and some just use the regular putt scale that we'll talk about in a second. Cordial holes tend to produce birdies and par chances. Daunting holes tend to produce par and bogey chances. It's rare to see a daunting hole do anything. I mean, unless you're going off the hazards, which we'll talk about next. These hazard charts, I'm going to lump them all together: the sand, the rough, and the trees. If you've got a daunting hole and you end up in the sand, rough, or trees with a green one, you should be thanking your lucky stars, because this golfer is probably going to have a chance at a birdie. Or maybe even holing it out. You never know. Use the green die result. This is going to be recovery skills that are checked. So for the sand chart, it's going to check whether they're sandy or whether they're chunky. Okay. For the rough and the trees, it's going to check whether they're master, good, workman, bad. Okay. And you can think of the green die as the lie. So a low number, it's a great lie. Sometimes you might have a chance to get to this chart called the wow chart. You'd earn a blue chip, and you get a chance possibly for a pretty good chance at a birdie, maybe, because it's basically a good lie in the rough or a good lie in the trap, and you make clean contact. And anyway, so that's the low number. Middle number, average lie, you probably have a good chance of saving par there. You're probably not going to get a birdie chance. Probably can avoid bogey. High number, 5 or 6 on that green die. You hope you have a good recovery skill, or you're probably going to be looking at a bogey. It's going to be tough to avoid that. It does happen, but it's not easy from there. So that's, again, I'm trying. I don't really want to show the charts because, you know, I don't want to give away too much of this game. Golf cam water. This is kind of like a straightforward penalty kind of situation where it's rare to go in the water, and yeah, you might have a chance at saving par, but it's typically going to be a salvaging bogey opportunity for you. I do feel like in real golf, you're going to get more double bogeys out of the water than you are bogeys, but I guess these are pros, and that's kind of the way it's set up the way it is. So, all right, so let's just talk about the regular putting. And I don't want to go, you know, if someone wanted to reconstruct the putting scale from the way when I play my game, I mean, you could do that. You just could. But let's just say, first off, that there's a term that will be used quite a bit when we talk about putting. It's called the high roll. The high roll is any time that you have an easy par, an easy bogey, or a gimme birdie, gimme eagle. So in those cases, we roll 2 d6s, and the only way you miss is if those 2 d6s come up with 6s. So 66. That is your high roll, and that is a miss. Otherwise, everything is a make. So that's a term. When I use high roll, that's what I mean. We take 2 d6s, we roll them. 66 miss. Everything else is a hit. So, or is a sank putt. Okay. There's 2 scales: under par and par or worse. So that's why if you follow when I play the tournaments, it's going to sound different if I say easy birdie versus easy par. You know, easy par is that high roll. Easy birdie is a 1 to 4 check. So you roll 1 d6, 1 to 4 birdie, 5, 6 miss, and then we have to go one step up. So each of these levels you progress. So the farthest, and so I'm just guessing here. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with these measurements as far as feet goes. Maybe a double difficult putt is actually like 35 feet now. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Let's say double difficult's 25 feet and greater. So difficult, I'd say between, let's say, 10 and 20. It could be 15 and 25. I don't know. Moderate, between 5 and 10 feet. Easy, 2 and 5. Gimme, less than 2 feet. Basically a tap in there. If you have a double difficult birdie putt and you decide to take it, you roll it, you miss it. Your follow-up putt, your par putt, will be a difficult putt. Okay? You roll that, you miss that. Now you've got a moderate bogey. You roll that, you make it. Okay, 3 putt. Well, maybe we could stop by the 19th hole there and forget about it. We talked about lag. Lagging allows you to jump an extra 2 steps on your follow. But in the way that play has come up with the lag, you can't make it. There's no making. I do have a custom lag rule. If you watch my tournaments, I do it. Basically, what I do is I take ones. So I would roll 2 d6s and the decider die. If it's ones and the decider die is yes, a double difficult putt goes in. Or a difficult putt goes in as well. If it's ones and no decider die, so the decider die doesn't have the dot, the double difficult ends up as a gimme. The difficult is made, if that makes sense. And then, and we have kind of like the opposite for the 6s. So if we get 6, 6 and dot, then a double difficult goes to difficult. So you get penalized. It was a bad one. And then if there's no dot, anyway, it slides like that. But in this case, so if you use the play rule, if you lag a double difficult putt, it will become an easy putt for par. Double difficult birdie becomes easy par. Difficult birdie becomes gimme par. So you basically skip 2. So, you skip from double difficult. Instead of being difficult, you skip to moderate, easy. Double difficult to easy. So, pretty simple, and it's a pretty clear way to help get through some tough situations. All right, I'm just going to mention the next episode here. We're going to do chip strategy next time. We're going to do some tourney logistics probably in, I don't know if it'll be in the next one. I might try to make the next one a little bit shorter than this one. So we might just do chip strategy because there's a lot to that. And if you have any questions, please submit them. We'll probably devote a little bit of time to talking about questions. Just drop a comment in here. Be happy to help you out with that. But what I want to do before we finish up here is let's just play a hole. I'm going to get 2 golfers out. I'm going to get a hole. We're going to play through it. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and hopefully we can get a couple cases where we have some unique stuff. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to do a real quick play through here, and I'm going to pick 2 holes. Just 2 holes for these guys. It's going to be Matt Kuchar and Xander Schauffele from the 2017 Pro Season set. And we're going to play the 15th and the 16th at Augusta National, or the Champions Course, if you will. So we're going to start with Kuchar. And let's go ahead and roll. And we're not going to have any blue chips here. I mean, if he earns one, we may use it, but we're just going to play this out. So we're going to roll all 6 of our dice. And I put the cards into picture form here so we can see them a little better. But we have a white. This is silver. It maybe doesn't look quite so silver from that point of view, but here we got green and black. And then the decider die. This is our one that has 3 dots. There's a third one underneath the thumb right there, and then 3 that are not. So let's roll and roll for Kuchar. So it's a 2, which means that we have golfer control. So then we take the other 3 dice. Let me see if I can turn my light just a little bit to give you a little bit better lighting there, so you can see 1, 4, 6 for Kuchar. So let's go to 1, 4, 6. So then what you do is you take those 3 dice, you take them in ascending order, and then you go to your book and you go 1, 4, 6. Let's take a look. Is he a legend or a bomber? Well, if you notice, if it were Xander Schauffele, he is both of those, so he would have gotten a I'm not going to show you the book here, but there's a star that isn't filled in, which means the par 5 gallery cheers. But we check both of those for Kuchar. He's a king and a semi-shaper, so he doesn't get that. So instead we go to the next one. Is he champion? Guess what? Schauffele would have been champion as well, but instead he's not, because Kuchar's here semi-hero, semi-soft. So then we go to the next one. Is he hacker? Well, he's neither of those either. So then we go to the experience chart. So we go all the way over to the right side of the screen. Remember earlier in the presentation I showed you that it was kind of like blurred out. On the right side of the page there, we didn't hit any of those, so we hit EXP. So then we go, the EXP chart's kind of in the back of the book. Golf Cam EXP, we have a green 4. So that's going to ask, we go to the par 5 Golf Cam experience. And it's going to ask, is he icon? Matt Kuchar is an icon. You see it under the experience tab at the bottom. He's icon and gilded. He is icon, so he has an easy birdie putt. In this case, an easy birdie putt is 1 to 4. We're going to roll the green die, and he misses it. So remember, we went from easy, 1 better, gimme. So gimme par is going to be, we roll 3. We're going to roll these 3 right here. And as long as they're not all 6, and they aren't, so he makes his par. So that's how we would play out the hole with Kuchar there. Let's see what happens with Xander Schauffele. And we get 1, 3, 4 for him. So let's see. So we haven't gotten any course control yet. We'll see if we get that on the par 3 16th. But anyway, so for Schauffele, 1, 3, 4. Is he a duffer? No, he's bomber, legend, king. So no. He is a champion, so he would earn a blue chip. We will put a blue chip right here, and let's move the little marker over his name. So we go to the gallery cheers because he is a champion. straight, true, nice. So then we go gallery cheers, the regular chart, because it was an iron shot, and we go to green 4. Is he utility? And he is none of those. He's champion, hero, laser, but not utility. So a moderate putt for birdie. And Xander is going to, you're allowed to use a blue chip. So we haven't really covered chip strategy yet. You can improve your putt with a chip. You can actually use 2 on the same hole. You could use 2 to improve your putt too. So we could take a moderate birdie to easy and then to gimme. But in this case, he only has 1, so we're going to take moderate to easy, and we're going to see if he can make this 1 to 4 putt. And he misses that too, so now the gimme par, which he does make, and so both guys par the 15th, which is a pretty famous hole at Augusta National. Let's move to the 16th, and we're going to use the same order. Schauffele could have saved his for that. Well, so here's another interesting one that we haven't talked about. So here is a semi-direct par 3, so a chance maybe at a hole-in-one, but it's also 3 degrees of course difficulty, so we have about a half chance of seeing course control here. You also have this, we'll see the exclamation mark in action, hopefully, if we do get one of those. Let's see. So it is Kuchar first, and he gets a white 6. So the white 6, you recall, is a patient par, or we can attack the green. Now, one thing we could do here is we could attack the green with this, because we know the green 1, and the green 1 would give him a moderate putt for birdie. In this case, he would be continuing his round. We would say we would probably take the par here. Take the par, take the blue chip. We'll give him the blue chip, and he'll have that. Okay, so that's the white 6. Now let's go to Schauffele, and let's see what we roll out here. And we get a 2. Let's just take, for instance, that we got a 3, because I want to be doing this thoroughly. So we take, because it's now course control, we get a 3. It's black and silver 4s. And if you look here, the 4s, that's going to be in the... So we got the square, that's golf cam course. So we go to that chart, and we have a green 6 for golf cam course. Is it daunting? It is daunting. It's going to be a double difficult putt for par. Now, we won't be able to use the exclamation mark, the caution symbol, because you can't make a double difficult putt tougher. If it were a difficult putt for par, you would convert it to double difficult because of that little caution symbol that's next to the 3. But in this case, it's already double difficult. You can't get any more. We are going to go ahead and let's just try and roll. He needs a 1 for a double difficult par, and he gets a 2, so he misses that. Difficult bogey, he needs a 1 to 3, misses that. A moderate double, 1 to 5, and he makes the moderate. So he makes a double bogey at the 16th. So I did have to change the 2 to the 3, but you could see that's how we do our course control, our golfer control like we did early on, and then the white 6. So again, if you have any questions about what we did here, why we did certain things, why we really didn't use much chip strategy, and it's because I haven't talked about it a ton in what we're doing here. But hopefully next episode we'll have a lot more about that. So in any regard, thanks for watching. Leave questions in the comments, and we will address those in a future episode. So have fun rolling, guys, and see you soon here on Tenacious Sports.